Hello, inspired leader. I've decided to create a series on how to build a living approach to empathy. So I'm using the acronym LIVE to break down the skill set and mindset required for us to really show up with empathy. And I was inspired to create this series today because I read the article. I'm going to put the link into the newsletter here, talking about the need for balanced, human centered, emotionally intelligent leadership right now. That as we lead through uncertain times, we need to bring human centered leadership to the forefront. And empathy is a key core competency of being a human-centered leader. Really, to being an effective leader right now, you need to have the skill set of empathy. But what does that mean? We talk about empathy a lot, and we don't often break it down into a skill set. So, welcome to part one of a four-part series on how to live your empathy. So L, being the first letter in the acronym, stands for, can you guess it? Listening. And listening is such an underrated skill set of leadership. So I just want to highlight for a moment what I'm talking about when I put listening first in the skill set for empathy. The skill of listening is about opening your eyes, your ears, your heart. I call listening like a full body experience. And when we're listening and fully present, we're sending we're sending energetic signals to that person on the other end of the phone or the Zoom or beside us in person that we are present and showing up for them with our attention, with our presence. And we can get a little bit hooked into thinking that we're not doing anything when we're listening. It feels passive, and we're not socialized to appreciate the skill set of listening. We're socialized to value our voice and what we say more than valuing our simple yet profound presence with another individual. And when we're present and listening, we create the space for people to settle in, to feel seen, to open their minds, open their hearts, and share with you what's going on for them. And one of the empathy misses I know that I got wrong for decades and was always very anxious about was showing up with empathy when someone was in a grief experience. Now, having been through my own grief journey with the loss of my brother last summer, I had the experience of receiving empathy. And some empathy was very skillful. I have a lot of coaches in my friend and community network. So there was some very skilled empathy that came my way. And really, what that looked like was a lot of listening, a lot of checking in, asking me how I was doing, and then listening. And there were some empathy misses, where there wasn't listening, there was talking, there was, attempts to cheer me up or offer an insight or a resource or give me some advice on how to navigate the grief journey. And we all have our own way of navigating grief. And in other examples, simply thinking about this in the workplace, you come out of a meeting and your colleague is complaining about the meeting. They aren't happy with the outcome from the meeting. That's an empathy opportunity for you to get curious and listen. Listen to what they're saying. Don't diminish their perspective by cheerleading or telling them how you saw the meeting. Use your ears, not your mouth, in that moment. Empathy is very nuanced. It's a way of being and a skill set that takes a lot of practice. So this series, this 4-part series, is intended to support you to raise your awareness to how you're showing up with empathy. And as we navigate some tumultuous times, again, I really believe that we all need to hone our empathy skills and lean on empathy more than we lean on advice or telling or advising. So, step number 1 in the live empathy is to listen. Use the ears, dial down the mouth. Enjoy the practice, and it is a practice. And I look forward to seeing you next week for the I lesson in the live empathy.